I have two small sedans that are direct competitors, and I want to know which one's better. Driving the Kia K4. So this actually just replaced the Forte, which was slightly smaller than the K4, but the styling on this is kind of giving me Kia's Stinger vibes. You know, it's got that fastback profile, it's got wider rear fenders, very sporty. I really like how they kind of hid that little rear door handle up top. You know, it's a little different, a little quirky. I think it's fun though. And I know right now, gray is the big deal. And this gray color is called Morning Haze. It's got kind of a bluish green tint to it. So it's not just your classic gray that looks like Audi's Nardo gray, but it gives a little bit of a color to differentiate it from all the other grays that are out there. This K4 in the GT line comes with some all seasons on these black gloss 18-inch wheels, which I think look really, really sleek. I like the design a lot. The interior of the K4 is pretty awesome. Right off the bat, I noticed this really cool white airbag we have on our square steering wheel with matching white trim on the top of it here. I think it looks really, really cool. And it continues on to the seats. We've got two-tone seats with this white and black, and these are heated and ventilated seats. And on the steering wheel, to find your drive modes, it's actually this cool little button right at the bottom right here. For the infotainment on the K4, we have a 12.3-inch screen, and it is massive, y'all, because we also have a 12.3-inch cluster up here too, but it does divide it right here, so you do have two individual screens, which I think looks really, really nice. We've got a couple different screens for your options, and you can even customize everything and move things around on your homepage so you could have the things that you want the most. To adjust your volume, we have a little dial right here, which is a little bit different than your standard like regular volume dial, but we have this scroll wheel dial, which is pretty cool. And for a quick mute, you can actually just push it in and it'll cut off your sound, which is really nice to have. And then down here, we've got our temperature control toggle switches, got a really nice action to it. It's always going to be there. I love that it's not embedded into a touch screen. We've got our buttons. Love it. Moving over here, we've got our HVAC vents, but it actually continues down all the way through the dash, and I think that looks really cool. Down below, we've got a couple USB-C ports, your phone charging pad, and look at this, an actual regular gear selector. Love to see it. And then back here, something that's really cool. Let's say you've got a giant water bottle or some big mugs. You can fit those in here, but if you've got a smaller can or something like that, you can actually push this here, and it gives you a more adjustable, smaller fitting for your smaller cans. Very cool. Driving the K4, I gotta say, this doesn't have a turbo, but you can get a turbo in the GT line turbo option, which, you know, gives you 190 horsepower, so a little bit more pep in the step compared to this. But even this just being the GT line, it feels like I just want to take all the tight corners I can. Under the engine of the K4, we have a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine with 147 horsepower and 132 pound-feet of torque. It does have a CVT, but it has a combined at 33 mpg. Handling is pretty tight. Pretty happy with that. It's not too loosey-goosey or anything like that. And I have to say, suspension is doing a pretty good job at absorbing the bumps. You know, with the GT line and the GT line turbo options, it does have a multi-link suspension system, whereas all the others are going to have a torsion bar. So you do see the difference when driving it. The one downfall is with that CVT, still a little sluggish. You know, it'd be nice if it was more of a, you know, like an 8-speed automatic, but that's what you're getting with the K4 is that CVT. Climbing into the back of the K4, I have left the driver's seat where I would have it driving. I'm 5'7" for reference, so I still have a pretty good amount of legroom here and a decent amount of headroom too. I know my giant bun is getting in the way a little bit, but it's pretty comfortable back here. One thing to notice, no air vents or controls back here, but you do have a couple USB-C ports, and you've got a cup holder armrest right here. Squish factor, pretty firm actually, so if firm is what you're looking for, you got it. To get in the trunk of your K4, you got a nice little button right here, and we've got just over 14 cubic feet of space back here, and we also have a space saver spare, which is something you gotta have. If you need even more room, you can actually just pop down both of the rear seats. You can get even longer stuff. All right, as for acceleration, I'm in normal right now. Let's give it the beans. All right, you know, not terrible, but let's put it in sport mode. A little space, give it the beans. Yeah, I feel a difference. You know, it's a little more responsive, especially with the accelerator pedal. It's not terrible, you know. I would like to see how it is against the GT line turbo though. When it comes to safety features, Kia's K4 has a pretty good amount of options. You know, they have things like adaptive cruise control and lane keep assist, which are becoming relatively pretty standard across the board. But they also have smart cruise control with stop and go. That's pretty awesome. Something else to really take note of is what warranties they offer. And Kia has always had incredible warranties. Their new vehicle limit warranty is 5 years or 60,000 miles, and their powertrain is 10 years, 100,000 miles. That is one of, if not the best warranty you can find in a new car. And this K4 with the GT line package is coming in at $28,345. And I gotta say, I think that is a pretty dang good value. Well, that was definitely a lot of fun. K4 is a lot sportier than I thought it would be, but let's check out the Jetta. Jetta has always had a more traditional, classic, refined type feel to it. And that's what they have maintained on this refresh. And one of the things I really like about this refresh is the full end-to-end light bar between the taillights. I think that looks really, really cool. It's fresh, it's new. I think they nailed it. One of the other cool things about the refresh is we've got this new color, Monument Gray. Again, gray is in, it's hot, but it still looks pretty good. And we're sitting on some more all seasons with these silver 18-inch wheels. Again, classic. The handling is a little more loose when compared to the K4, but this isn't necessarily geared more towards performance like the K4 is. This is geared more towards a comfortable ride, and that's what it's giving. Suspension feels pretty good going over bumps. I feel like it's really absorbing any imperfections in the road. And I would be very happy to drive this cross country. No doubt. In the front seats of the Jetta, we also have some two-tone leather seats, and they are heated and ventilated up front as well. And we have this really nice contrasting white stitching too, and this gray and black seating. And these seats are super comfortable, which is what I would expect from a luscious, comfortable Jetta. For the infotainment in the Jetta, we have a 10.3-inch display, and we actually have knobs for volume and different adjustments you need to make within the screen. But here's my favorite thing. We have a wave feature. So you can get through different pages just from a little wave, which is pretty cute. For your HVAC controls, you actually have this really cool slide bar. So you can either tap or you can slide it, and it's not only for your fan control, but for your temperatures as well. And you do have dual zone climate control, so your passenger can control their temperatures as well. And we have heated and ventilated seats up front. Down here, you'll see 2 USB ports, and you've got a wireless phone charging pad. And then again, look at this, an actual shifter knob, not a dial, a knob. Love to see it. And then down here, you'll see this is how you can change your different drive modes. Something really cool with this is we have ambient lighting in this car. And when you change your drive modes, it will change the ambient lighting color as well. And then we've got a couple cup holders down here. They have kind of like an octagon-ish type shape. A little lackluster when comparing it to the Kia's K4. I mean, those were pretty great, but in any sense, you at least do have cup holders, even though they might be a little small. You know, even though this isn't geared towards performance like the K4, it's still very fun to drive around corners. Still very comfortable. You know, again, it's not gritty and responsive like the K4, but it's still a lot of fun to drive and very comfortable. In the Jetta, we have a turbocharged 1.5 liter 4-cylinder engine with 158 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque. She's made it up with an 8-speed automatic and also has a combined 33 miles per gallon. Let's see how she does with acceleration. I've got it in normal mode right now and give it the beans. Feel a little bit of that turbo lag for sure, but let's switch her into sport mode. And something that I really like is when you do that, it's going to change your ambient lighting. And for sport mode, we're going to get this red ambient lighting, which is really cool. I'm going to give it a little space and giving it the beans. Got that high revs, and then that turbo kicks in. Still, like I said, a little bit of that turbo lag, but she gets there. She gets there. Climbing into the back seat of the Jetta, same thing. I have left the seat where I would normally drive, 5'7", and I would think I have even more headspace back here, and legroom is still very comfortable. It feels a little bit more roomier in here than the K4, but that could be because it has that fastback design, so you lose a little bit in that slope, but this is quite comfortable. And they continued this dual color seat design in the back, which looks really nice. No HVAC controls or vent back here, mind you, but at least you do have some heated seats to keep yourself warm in those colder months. And then let's check out the squish factor of our center console here. Oh, very squishy. We got 2 cup holders with a little design in the middle in case you've got like a mug or anything like that, but this is very comfortable back here. One thing I'm noticing though, no charge ports back here. No USB-C, no USB-A, you got nothing, but at least you've got heated seats. Popping into the trunk of the Jetta, we've got roughly the same cargo space. We've got 14.1 cubic feet of space back here, and you still do, if I can get my fingers under there, a space saver spare. Awesome to have, gotta have it. Again, if you need more room, you can drop down both of the back seats, put even longer stuff back there. When it comes to safety features for the Volkswagen offers IQ Drive, which has a ton of safety features, like, again, adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, but they have travel assist, which is semi-automatic driver assistance. So again, pretty comparable to what Kia offers with the K4. When it comes to warranties for this Jetta, the new vehicle limited and powertrain warranty are both 4 years, 50,000 miles, which to me is the biggest difference when comparing this Jetta to the K4. And it is slightly more expensive at $30,680 for this SEL trim. So they're both so much fun, but this is a little bit more expensive, which you may be paying for with how refined it is and comfortable and just classic. But that warranty difference that's a lot to not consider. So which one is better? Well, it really comes down to preference at this point. You want sporty? I would go with the K4. You want classy and comfortable? Jetta's your man. Let me know what you guys would choose in the comments below. Check out all TFL for all your new and used car reviews. This is Jen. Thanks for watching.